Topping our lineup here on the Now, Planned Parenthood is looking at how to keep providing its services after pulling out of a federal family planning program, the impact for the people who count on these services. And a man paralyzed for years, walking again, and it's thanks to a scientific breakthrough, the device that is giving patients hope. Plus, credit card rewards can be great, but you may not realize just how they could be pushing you even deeper into debt, what you need to consider about the cards that you're using.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and this is the Now Indy on RTV6. A new place tonight for people to enjoy the Monon Trail in Westfield. Overnight crews installed a section of the new Monon Trail bridge. This bridge is over State Road 32 in Westfield. It was tricky because crews had to use 2 cranes to lift the 128,000-pound pieces into places at the same time. Westfield Mayor says they have waited 5 years for this to become a reality, and it will make a great addition to the trail system for everyone to use.
We're blessed with so many families. In fact, you know, I count the vibrancy of a suburban city by how many strollers I see. And you see a whole lot of strollers on the Monon Trail. It's a happy thing.
The bridge span will look like this when totally complete. Westfield paid for the bridge with a grant and impact fees. The Monon Trail runs about 24 miles from downtown Indy to Sheridan. And Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to connect you to the job or career you want. The American Legion National Convention officially starts tomorrow in Indianapolis, but today the organization held a job fair ahead of the convention kickoff. The American Legion and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce teamed up for the Hiring Our Heroes job fair and employment workshop. This event was for veterans, military service members, and their spouses. More than 20 employers participated and had jobs available for attendees at varying experience levels.
The purpose of the Veterans Employment Education Commission is to make sure that we find opportunities for veterans that ensure their financial well-being. That's what we're trying to do, is get them whole in their families.
The 101st American Legion National Convention begins tomorrow at the Indiana Convention Center. The Hiring Our Heroes job fair is over. But right now you can find job listings on our Hiring Hoosiers job board. We also have career resources and other tips. That's all up right now on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Now let's take a look outside with Kyle.
Yeah, and a bit on the cooler side today as we check out the view right now from downtown Indianapolis. A little bit of blue sky is trying to make its way in there. We've had a few showers and a couple of reports earlier this afternoon in Grant County of some funnel clouds that developed there. That was in the Marion, Indiana area around 3 o'clock or a little before this afternoon. Now, these are generally not associated with severe weather and rarely touch the ground. Say it would be a very isolated case that we see any more of these this evening, but thanks to Brandy and Harmony for sending in those photos this afternoon. As far as the rain chances, we did have a little bit of thunder with this one moving through Crawfordsville, but it is starting to really kind of fall apart as it slides along I-74 here toward the south and east across 231 as well. Then we have a few more showers, some moderate rain around Bloomfield, and this is all going to be moving into Monroe County, around Bloomington, and eventually into Nashville. Downtown right now, we've got 78 degrees, 75 for you in Greenwood and Bloomington. You've made it into the lower 80s, though, as that sunshine popped back out in Lafayette. We'll have a cold front sliding through the area, so a few showers as we go through the next couple of hours here, but temperatures into the lower and middle 70s by 9 o'clock with a northeast breeze. Chris?
Nearly 30 people have been arrested over threats of mass shootings just this month. The latest in Long Beach, California, where police seized all of this. Authorities have turned up the pressure on stopping attacks since the shootings in Dayton and El Paso. And while some say authorities need to do more, the best way to stop these attacks long term is still up for debate. Police near Los Angeles making another arrest, potentially stopping another mass shooting. A hotel cook now in custody. Police say he planned to open fire at the Marriott where he worked.
Suspect Montoya had clear plans, intent, and the means to carry out an act of violence that may have resulted in a mass casualty incident.
Police say they found high-powered firearms, hundreds of rounds of ammo, and tactical gear. This case adding to the list of more than 24 arrests in just the past 3 weeks related to shooting plots.
I vowed to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
This is video of police in Central Florida arresting a teen for threatening to open fire at his school in an online video game chat.
Go ahead and turn around. Put your hands on your back. He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting.
An adult in the video pleading for deputies to let the boy go.
But he's just a little kid playing a video game.
But since attacks in Dayton and El Paso, authorities aren't letting any threats slide, but it does bring up the question of what more can be done to stop mass shootings.
I just think the American public has grown tired on both sides of having to contend with the issue as it comes up again and again.
Andrew Traver is a professor at MSU Denver. He spent more than 30 years in federal law enforcement with ATF and as the director of NCIS. He supports red flag laws that give law enforcement the power to take weapons away from people who are seen as threats to themselves or others. But as lawmakers continue to debate gun violence in Washington and have yet to pass legislation since recent attacks, authorities are racking up the arrests across the country, trying to stop the next one from happening. And the Walmart that was the scene of the El Paso mass shooting will reopen. Company says the store will be basically rebuilt. Walmart says it'll take 3 to 4 months to do that. There will also be a memorial built to honor the victims of that attack. All right, more to get to here in our lineup. And Planned Parenthood now looking at how to keep providing its services after pulling out of a federal family planning program. So ahead, the impact for the people who count on these services.
In Hiring Hazers this month, we are showing you ways local schools are helping students get from the classroom to a career. And one local program is preparing students to do our job, work in TV news. BDTV at the Area 31 Career Center at Ben Davis High School gives students a head start in television production. Students learn camera operations, news writing, editing field, and studio production, all of the elements it takes to create a professional newscast. The legacy of the program is well known, sending grads on to excel in college or get production jobs right out of high school. One student we spoke to was so prepared he was able to snag a college internship. Keep in mind, this kid just graduated high school.
The internship I had this summer was offered to college juniors or seniors. So the skills that I've learned here are so high and are usually attained by people that are much, much older than me.
The instructor says one of the things that makes BDTV so special is that alumni often come back and credit their success with what they learned in this classroom, like RTV6's very own Nicole Griffin, who graduated from the program in 2008.
Planned Parenthood is no longer part of a federal family planning program, and that means it's now resorting to tacking on fees to services. Some clinics are considering charging $10 to $15 copays per visit. More than 1 million women are now trying to figure out if they can afford the fees or if they can find a provider with lower costs. Planned Parenthood decided to get out of the program in a dispute with the government over abortion. If the woman's health provider had stayed in the program, it would not have been able to refer patients for an abortion, nor would they be able to provide abortions. It also says that women would likely receive incomplete information regarding their health.
As a provider, I am obligated to give my patients not only correct information, but complete information. And withholding certain types of healthcare services, I feel that I'm doing my patients a disservice. They rely on me to come for accurate, truthful information and things that'll best serve them.
Now, this will impact access to birth control and STD testing as well. Other providers also withdrew from the program this week. That could make it harder for women to find a new doctor. Some states like New Hampshire, well, they plan to head and set money aside to make up for lost funding. Let's turn to the Now News feed. Mining, it can be a dangerous line of work, very difficult line of work, and mines are not safer, despite more than $1 billion in fines. That's what a government audit found. The audit was spurred on by an NPR investigation. NPR found that some mines ignored safety warnings from regulators. Despite being in a plane crash just last week, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is getting back to work. The driver says that he'll take part in the Sports Clips Haircuts VFW 200. Earnhardt Jr., his wife, daughter, 2 pilots as well, were able to escape a crash without serious injuries. Well, get ready for gas prices to go down. Experts say that you could see the cost drop by as much as 25 cents a gallon. Several factors playing into this, including people driving less in the fall and the shift to a new gas blend. Well, let's still ahead in our lineup. A man paralyzed for years is now walking again, and it's thanks to a scientific breakthrough. We're going to show you the device that is giving hope to patients.
And Keller, right now.
A medical breakthrough is helping paralyzed people move closer to independence. Kai Beach shows us how it works.
Keep pushing through.
Jeff Marquis is taking small steps in distance.
but making huge strides for science.
That was a good step.
8 years ago, Marquis was paralyzed from a mountain biking accident. Those injuries left him unable to walk.
There's a gap jump, and I came down right on my head. Sustained a C5 and 6 burst fracture.
But now, with the help of new technology and old school physical training, Marquis is leaving his wheelchair and walking again.
You know, no one thought I could stand up on my own or step on my own. So being able to do it with the implant has brought some hope back into the equation.
The implant is an epidural stimulator that's embedded near the spinal cord. Electricity then triggers the nervous system, which can help restore brain to spine connectivity. And researchers at the Kentucky Spinal Cord Injury Research Center at the University of Louisville are calling this a scientific breakthrough.
It gives us hope that we know now that the spinal cord has this capability, so it's a matter of being able to tap into that capability.
Assistant Professor Claudia Angeli is part of the team behind this research. And while she's not calling this a quick fix for paralysis, she is finding excellent results.
And you can actually see the activation of the muscles. It's the spinal cord responding to information. So it responds to the information that the foot is on the ground. So the more activity you see, the more responsive or excitable the spinal cord is.
And that excitement can be felt across the country. A recent study by the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation discovered that there are nearly 1 in 50 people living with paralysis in the United States. That breaks down to about 5.4 million people, or the combined populations of LA, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C.
I mean, it is life-changing in some respects. I'm always careful not to oversell it. It's not like I'm walking around the house doing chores.
While Marquis is brutally honest, he's also happy to get back on his feet again.
When you first get hurt, a lot of people are told that they're not going to walk again. So being able to at least do it in this setting has really kind of provided a ray of hope for me and hopefully for other people.
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
Thank you, Kai. The real estate service Zillow is about to change the way many people buy and sell homes so that you no longer have to list your home for sale. Consumer reporter John Matarese sees if this new service might be worth trying so you don't waste your money.
Do you hate the idea of listing your home, then having to hold open houses and spruce it up every time a prospective buyer wants to see it? Then consider selling your home to Zillow.
All right, here we are.
Home selling is a frustrating and time-consuming experience, so Zillow wants to remove the hassles by buying your home directly from you through a new service called Zillow Offers. It's currently in 15 cities and expanding to many more. All you do is fill out a form on Zillow's website, allow them to do a home inspection, and Zillow will make an offer to buy your home directly. No fuss, no muss. It'll take a 6 to 9% fee. Once the deal goes through, Zillow will then sell your home to someone else. It's that easy. But from the Doesn't That Stink file, why some critics claim this is just an online version of home flipping. Some homeowners report Zillow offered them 10 to 15% less than what local realtors were able to get. They say, doesn't that stink? But think about it. Zillow needs to make a profit reselling your home, so you probably won't get top dollar. But as with many things in today's economy, you're paying a bit for convenience and not having the stress of trying to sell your own home. Zillow offers plans to be in 26 markets by the end of 2020, so it could be a few years before the service is available in most of the country. If you don't have it yet, talk to a realtor and don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Feeling a little bit fallish out there today, so we're starting to count the days. We still have about a month worth of summer here before we get into the fall season. Halloween about 70 days and then 72 days away from ending daylight saving time for us. Temperatures right now, a rain-cooled 72 in Crawfordsville, 83 though in Lafayette, and 73 in Columbus. In Columbus, you will get in on a few more showers here, some light rain, especially as we work our way into southern portions of Bartholomew County right now. Some patchy fog developing after the evening showers move out. We'll have our low in the lower 60s, and temperatures tomorrow will be pretty similar similar to what we had today. I think tomorrow will be a dry day with mostly cloudy skies. Those temperatures making their way into the 70s and close to 80 for that afternoon high, but not quite there. 78 in Bloomington, 76 degrees in Noblesville. And the weekend ahead, we're going to keep this very nice weather going. Beautiful Saturday for you, mostly sunny skies, 76, and back to around 80 degrees on Sunday. Next few days of your forecast here, those highs around 80 degrees, another chance for storms by Monday. Chris?
Turning to the Now News feed, Illinois is expanding protections for undocumented immigrants. The state has a new law that says that someone can't be evicted based on their immigration status. And it also says landlords can't unfairly target undocumented immigrants. A violation could result in a fine. It is the second state to do this after California. Possible price hike on olive oil has lawmakers taking action. The cost of olive oil could go up due to proposed tariffs on the European Union. Now, a bipartisan group wants to spare olive oil from the tariffs. Now, the concern is there's just not a strong alternative supply here in the United States. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac could soon be private companies again. The government had to rescue the mortgage firms during the recession. Plans in the works right now that would make sure the companies could survive on their own if there is another financial hit. One small town as its one-man welcome wagon, really. He's volunteered his own time for years, and he's greeting those driving through. And Thomas Hoppe found that he captures everyone's eye in Leadville, Colorado.
There's something about a small town that gives it character.
We're up in the clouds, and everything's downhill from here.
Through small towns, we can all connect.
There's the beauty, there's the history, the architecture, the size of the town, all coming together. It makes it just perfect.
It's a different world up here.
And there's something about a character that gives everything to this small town.
You know, every town's got somebody that sticks out.
My name's James Duke, or sometimes better known as Jim Duke, and I'm the Leadville Town Greeter. What that means is I go out and I meet people on the street.
Emily.
Welcome them to town and let them know their family.
Everyone knows Jim Duke.
He's been here many years, up and down the streets, and greets people. Everybody knows him.
Really, the favorite part is putting a smile on their face.
You are an exotic-looking creature.
I'm exotic?
Yeah, you sure are.
There's not a lot of places that have someone with this type of town knowledge.
When Doc Holliday would come in here and have a drink, he'd be looking at that same mirror you're looking at right now.
But then again,
I'm not born James, but now I'm Jim. Yeah.
Jim meets Jim.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's not a lot of people like Jim.
People need to know that the town backs me on this. I'm just not some nut out there. I love the town. There's some locals that still think I'm a nut, but that's okay. I don't care. I see the beauty. I see the people. I see love in this town.
I think as a society, we're losing the personalization of meeting each other and greeting each other.
Well, you know, there's not enough of that in the world. People are just, everybody's fighting with each other.
You're right, you're right.
But Leadville is a special place.
I like to see people smile.
Exactly.
And if we smile and connect with one another, well, then any town, big or small, can have a little character. In Leadville, Colorado, with photojournalist Andrew Snedecke, I'm Thomas Hoppe.
Great stuff, Thomas. Thank you. And finally in our lineup today, a lot of us use credit cards for the rewards that they offer, like cash back or airline miles. But there's a hidden danger that you likely don't realize, how they could be pushing you even deeper into debt. We're going to talk about that next. You're watching The Now.